What's up, traders? It's your girl Kaya Trades, and today I wanted to make this video to let you guys know that most traders lose money because they don't know how to sit on their hands. I'm starting a 10-day challenge where I'm forcing myself to do exactly that. Today, market open, it was straight chop, and I'm going to show you exactly why I did not take a trade today. So let's go ahead and hop onto the charts. So first things first, you guys know I'm going to start off with my KT system at the top of my screen. If I come to the markets with a plan, then I will most likely try to follow that plan rather than coming to the markets blind and not even knowing what I'm looking for. So I have these things that I'm going to be looking for trade on the charts today. If I don't get them, then I won't take a trade. We also have our daily note because we know that patience plus discipline is going to give us freedom. We have to have the patience to wait for our setup. But we also have to have the discipline to follow our rules that actually give us a reason to know that there is a setup right there. So we start off with that. Let's go ahead and mark out market open. Starting off, I'm going to take it back just one more candle. Starting here, we're going to go ahead and mark out our market structure to see what we want to identify. If my 1 hour gives me the trend or bias, then I will want my lower time frame or my 5-minute time frame for my entry to be in alignment with that. If I don't get alignment, then I'm not going to be looking for a trade. Everything else is going to be noise. So we can obviously see obvious low, we broke structure, made obvious high, and price is now pulling back. So we are waiting for our 1 hour. We're waiting for our 5-minute to match our 1 hour. Our 1 hour is bullish. Now, in previous videos, you guys have seen me do a little bit more minor structure. So that's taking this high, this low. And though this is great, I want to focus more on the swing or external structure, really giving my trades optimal reasons to play out with the higher time frame, with the overall story. So if I did the minor structure, I would see that this is bearish. And I think that's kind of what I've been doing, is just trying to focus on every single opportunity. And that may not really be my setup. So I want to focus on my setup, understanding and identifying choppy markets, as well as focusing on if there are big pushes and small pushes for the strategy, supply and demand. So this minor structure, we're having a break of structure to the downside, but I'm overall looking for price to continue the trend. If I zoom out, guys, we can see that the market has just been moving higher. So I want to go along with this higher time frame trend. So let's go ahead and zoom in and then go down to the 5-minute right before the market is open. Also, it just wicked that area, so we don't know what it's going to do. Now we're on our 5-minute. I'm going to go ahead and put this at 9:30. It's at 9:05. 9:30 would be right here. I'm going to go back and draw those 1 hours so that you guys can actually see them. I can see them, but I want you guys to see them. So let's go ahead and write those. So we have a 1 hour low way down here. Price can come back into this range as deep as it wants. And then here was our break of structure to the upside. We're experiencing now a pullback, which is what we intend to see after we break structure. If price gives us a low and gives us a new high, we're anticipating price to come back into the range and then continue moving up for a bullish example. So now our new high is up here. We're going to wait and see if price can hold. We want to see if price can hold coming into this zone and then pushing a little bit higher, giving us that same exact example that we saw right there, continuing the trend. That's all we're looking for and waiting for. Now let's go ahead and go back down to the 5-minute. Alrighty, so moving forwards here, we can already see that our 5-minute is not in alignment with our 1 hour. How do we know? Because price made a high, made a low, made a lower high than this high, made a lower low than this low, lower high than this high, lower low than this low. So price hasn't given us bullish price action. We want to see at market open if price can do that. Let's see. We'll go ahead and get to market open. So we can see that this high has been broken. But guys, I want you to notice something. It was just the wicks, no strong bodies came through here. Do I normally consider this a break? Absolutely. However, price came and reacted from this supply zone very aggressively. So I don't want to consider this a strong movement to the upside. My goal is to look for big candles like this. I want to see something really strong, giving me an aggressive breakaway from where I'm looking to create a zone. And we just didn't get that. And if I zoom out a little bit more, guys, there is liquidity resting right here. We have two equal lows, and there's some liquidity right there. Price reacted from this liquidity. I'm going to make it a dashed line so you guys can see a little bit better. Price reacted from this liquidity, pushed back up here, reacted from this supply, and now it's still here in this level. But if we also look to the left with me so we can make sure we're all on the same page, guys, we see a gap that price might want to go get. I'm going to make this green so you guys can know that it's a gap. This is just an imbalance in the market that the market will potentially want to rebalance. So we get our first reaction, we get a strong push to the downside. However, I'm looking for buys. We get a strong reaction-ish from the liquidity here. And then we get that high and it gets broken and we get a strong reaction from this zone. It came all the way down here. And right now I'm looking for strong movements from these areas, from right here at current price. If I cannot get that, then I'm going to be in a chop, and I don't want to be in a chop. I want to be in clean, either bullish markets or clear bearish markets. That's it. I want to see strong breaks of structure. All right. Let's see what price does right after the open. We're going to move forwards. Price came down, slightly took out this liquidity now here. So we're going to mark that out, looking left, looking left. We can see that price came down, came super close to breaking structure, strong, and just could not hold. And we can also see that price came down to the gap. Now we're getting reaction from the gap. Let's see what happens on the next candle. Now price has reacted from the gap. So we've got a reaction to the downside, reaction back to the upside, reaction back to the downside, reaction back to the upside, giving us this kind of movement. Reaction from the downside, reaction, giving us this kind of movement. Guys, this is choppy markets. I cannot trade supply and demand because it does not work in choppy markets. What I need to see in order for me to be able to start looking for trades is for price to break out of this zone and show me that the buyers have won. If that does not happen and we stay here, then I cannot take a trade. I can also look for if price wants to push down below and break structure here, letting me know that bears are still in control right now. We're still possibly in that pullback. My 5-minute and my 1 hour have to be in alignment. And if I don't get a current break of structure to the upside, I am not going to look for a trade. So I need this high to break. I'm looking for this high to break. If this high doesn't want to break, then I need this low to break. And even though I count a wick as a break, I want to see strong movements, guys. This right here is a perfect example of strong movements. I'm going to zoom out just a bit. This right here is a perfect example of strong movements from this low and from this zone. I don't see that here or here, guys. That's what I want to see. If I don't see that, it's probably going to be a no trade day because now we're inside of this new range and we are just chopping around. I'm going to show you guys exactly that. Let's see. We're moving forwards. Price is now reacted from this low. It's just moving back up. We're getting too many reactions from one area. Well, two different areas, actually. We're getting too much reactions from two different areas, and I don't want to see that. I want to see price break out and go strong and momentous movements. Now we're not able to make a high, and we're still just coming down. Price is kind of filling in this gap here, so we're going to move and adjust this as we go down. It kind of wicked the low, but now this just turns into liquidity. Let's see. It just took out the most previous liquidity, then it reacted and went back up. So we're still chopping around in this zone. Guys, the old me would have been like, oh my gosh, look, price is moving, it wicked down. Here's a zone. And even though this could be a zone, guys, it's not an A plus setup. I want an A plus setup. What does that look like? That looks like price creating a low, having strong aggressive movements to the upside for the bullish example, coming back down to the zone, and then creating bullish structure outside of here. We're not getting that. So let's keep on playing through. I got off the charts around 10:30 because you guys, I just really wasn't seeing anything. And the market, it doesn't really give me anything after 11. I don't need to trade after 11 because that's not a part of my rules. Following our rules is that discipline. Being patient for our setup is that patience, and waiting for our setup is that patience. Those are the two ingredients and two components of an equation that will give me freedom. So let's see what happens by 10:30. Price is still reacting from the upside, reacting from the downside, not giving me strong pushes. Let's see. Still another wick. We swept some more liquidity and we're filling in that gap just a little bit more. The gap is almost completely full, guys. Let's see what the market wants to give us now. This time it's like 10:30. I don't see any bullish price action like my higher time frame. I'm probably going to call it a day. Save myself the mental capital and the actual capital in my trading charts. And guys, 10 o'clock came, and as y'all can see, we're just in a range. Price has not beat this low. Price has not beat this high. We've just been chopping and chopping and chopping and chopping. Bounce, 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 playing ping pong all day long. That's not for me, so I did not take a trade on this day, and I'm okay with that. You guys know, if you see my last video, I just went on tilt and I want to refrain from doing that again. So I need to understand what triggers that. So if me taking a whole bunch of unnecessary losses triggers that, then my goal is to identify what is causing these unnecessary losses, me trading in choppy markets, and what can I do not to do that? Be able to identify the choppy market so I don't have to take an unnecessary loss. And we did that today. I feel really good walking away from the markets, even without taking a trade, because I know that I'm following my rules and I'm being patient for my setup. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's not a long video, but today is day 1 of 10 days of me forcing myself to sit on my hands. If you want to join that challenge with me, you can click the link in the description and join me in my community and identify those areas that are not tradable markets, identify really good setups that are, but also having and growing the skill of patience and discipline. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you guys tomorrow.